Good to have you with us here on RT International. Our top story this hour, police making more arrests in the U.S. state of Missouri as a standoff between protesters and police continues, sparked by the fatal shooting of another 18-year-old black man. People in the St. Louis suburb of Berkeley have been protesting at a local gas station, the scene of the killing, clashing with police and even launching firecrackers. It's just a couple of miles from Ferguson, where teenager Michael Brown was shot dead back in August. Marina Portnaya joining me live now from Berkeley, Missouri. So are the protests still going on there?
Well, the protesters are no longer here, but it was an intense standoff for many hours at the gas station right behind me, where Antonio Martin was fatally shot 2 nights ago. Now, police did block off this gas station. They put up orange cones around it, and there were several police officers inside there. They were attempting to prevent the demonstrators from getting inside of the gas station. They were not successful because at a certain point, more than 100 demonstrators were marching in this area. They stormed into the gas station, and there was an intense standoff with the cops that were in there. Ultimately, the cops were able to push them out, but then clashes ensued. There were some police officers running after the demonstrators. The demonstrators, of course, some of them were being quite provocative, cursing at them, yelling at them, expressing the anger and frustration that this community is feeling. At a certain point, police officers did pull out their pepper spray. There were several arrests, and this was going on and on for many hours. So what we didn't expect, or some people didn't expect, for so many demonstrators to turn out on such a cold evening on Christmas. But clearly the anger, the frustration over another black teenager being shot by a white police officer, that was clearly displayed. And as you mentioned, this is happening in Berkeley, just a few miles away from Ferguson, Missouri, where Michael Brown was shot and killed by a white police officer in August. Of course, we saw many protests erupt for weeks and months. And then ultimately, we've seen so much anger and frustration building up with demonstrations throughout the U.S. over so many citizens feeling that police are using aggressive use of force against citizens. And now with this incident arising, more anger is being displayed out in the streets.
And how's the police investigation going so far?
Well, the mayor of Berkeley has asked for peace and calm while that investigation continues. The police did release several surveillance videos of Antonio Martin the night that he was fatally shot by a police officer. The video that they've released, they say, show him raising his arm and pointing a 9mm gun at the white police officer, who subsequently fired 3 shots at Martin, hitting him at least 1 time. But the police officer was not wearing a body camera. His dash camera on his car was not turned on, and that's why the police had this surveillance video from the gas station to rely upon. Many do not believe that Martin had a gun in his hand because it's not very clear if he was holding a gun. His mother's come out saying she does not believe he was holding a gun. She wants to see facts and proof with his hand holding a gun. The police claim that he pointed a 9mm loaded gun at a police officer, and that is why the police officer fatally shot the 18-year-old. But again, we have an incident of a white police officer shooting a black teenager. Many wondering why the officer did not decide not to use a deadly use of force. So obviously, lots of questions still remain, but the community is very angered, frustrated, and confused over why these incidents continue to repeat themselves.
All right, RT's Marina Portnaya live for us in Missouri with more on that investigation. Thank you.